when I was growing up, because I'm a little older than most of you old folks, when I was growing up, we were all black. African American was a term that came, roughly speaking, in the early 80s, tied fairly closely with Jesse Jackson's run for the presidency back then, all right? But the thing was, it was like African American more or less denoted being from having your roots in America, in the South, essentially, if you're black. Whereas Caribbean Americans, we weren't really...
We weren't that kind of black.
Right. You know, even though, interestingly enough, it would be more appropriate to call the Caribbean Americans African Americans as opposed to. But, so I call myself black because that works for me, because that's what I grew up in. The immigrant mentality, though, the immigrant mentality is very interesting, because my fiance often talks about think like an immigrant. If you want to go after something, think like an immigrant. And one of the challenges that we have in our community, the black community, the greater African American community, is too often folks are focused in on what they don't have as opposed to what they can go get if they get up and down. Now, that is not to say that there are not serious obstacles. We all know that the obstacles exist.
But part of the structure allows for the immigrant to even do better than us. We still are at the bottom of the barrel, because when we try to do something, we still have to do it twice as good as even the freaking guy who just showed up on his boat. It's understood.
The target. You see, when you're perpetually in the range of the rifle, you know, everybody who's around you has the ability to be able to escape. You are all in the same situation. So right, let's say you're all in the battlefield and a guy has a gun, but when one population is perpetually in the rifle range, everybody else who's around can run amok. But if you stick your head out, you're the one they're going for. So it's not about not being in the same situation.
It's allowed.
Yeah, you're in the same situation, but if you're in the target, you're the one they're coming for.
Well, the guy coming across on the boat is accepted first before we're like, we've been here.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but you know who you are, right?
Right.
They can come from whatever country. They can come, and it's almost the hard work, quote, American dream, is permissible for you. But we that have been here have always had this subservient, substandard policy that we had to get through. So you have to jump.
It's an additional hurdle. And I just wanted to say this. I wasn't even going to share this, but you know, I'm so glad I came here today, because I just feel so reaffirmed. So just in all privacy. So I got an offer the other day to do a reality show. The reality show was already in existence a year before, and they wanted me to come in and be the principal of a show. I'll just say it, called Dream School. You ever seen Dream School, 50 Cent show? So apparently it's a show where they have a bunch of poor kids, and they're mostly African American kids, black and they're supposed to be given an opportunity to get a better education. So they asked me to be the principal. And I was excited about it, of course, and I'm sharing it with my wife, and you know, it's gonna be some good TV time. You get paid per episode. And when I went in to talk to the guy, they were like, well, you know, part of the goal of the show, so the show can go on well, I was told this directly, is that these kids, you know, they really can't do too well. And there have to be some battles between you and the kids. So this idea of you talking about how, you know, you help them to be better, like there have to be a point where you're giving them this information and they just won't receive it. You know, that has to be, that's what we need for the show. So yeah, so that's what we need for the show, so the show can get the ratings.
Yeah.
And so I thought about it. It's like $2,500 an episode. It's not a lot of money, but I'm like, man, if it gets into syndication, if it goes on for a while, this would be really good. And 2 days ago, I was supposed to make my final decision. And I spoke to my wife about it, and she was like, Chris, you know you can't do the show, right? And I said, but babe, you know, we get money per episode. I get more visibility. I can do some speaking engagements around it. And she said, you know what? We are actually paying our bills right now. You can't do this show.
That's the Chappelle argument, right?
And
there.
I said, you know what? You know what? We okay. But you know what though? The day after, they're like, well, you know, we're really sorry you turned us down, but we got somebody to do the show. So I feel great, right?
Yeah, they got Uncle
but the structure in place is already there. That shit was going to happen anyway.
Yeah, but you know what? You still didn't need to be involved.
Right.
Did not need to be involved because you know there are vehicles there are plenty of vehicles for
It's that Scandi
entertainment.
mentality. If you remember the Command, I don't know if you guys watch Scandi.
Yeah, I
Command,
can't watch that.
B613. Oh, you
Yeah.
can't watch it?
Nah, she won't let me not
Oh,
watch
okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the B613, which you chop the head off, it's still gonna be
It's
somebody.
gonna still- yeah, yeah.
So I mean,
The Hydra.
looking at vehicles like that, I wanted to discuss in the last convo that we were having about the American culture and black culture. There was a time where a lot of book bags were being sold by us. You know, now Chinese Asian, exactly. Now Chinese Asian are selling them now, like all over the place. Big ass book bags carrying around. DVD. I'm like, it was a time where we couldn't walk into their establishments and do that, but they are everywhere.
It's again another example of our ingenuity being exploited by other populations, and then all of a sudden we're like, well, we can't do that no more.
Yo!
And then we move on.
Yo!
You know, we keep creating. It's like the Bronx. You know?
It was
We keep
tapes
creating, they
first.
keep on taking it.
It was tapes.
Yeah, mixtapes.
All right.
Mixtapes
so-
turn to DVDs, and DVDs turn into movies.
I want to take a couple pictures of everyone on the stoop.